Motion to reconvene.
Thank you, Councillor Brown. All right, so we
All in
need...
favor?
All in favor, perfect. Thank you.
Mayor, 2019 budget, we're doing the mill rate bylaw changes at this
We
point?
skipped over the bill rate budget thing.
This will come back now that we had the discussion regarding all those items and we are comfortable with all the changes. Now they can establish the mill rate. Okay, so that needed to become first. That preliminary review, that was the review.
Okay.
Thank you. So under 6C, recommendation from CCW, and if you remember, we had the discussion, how do we handle therapeutic animals in a place like the cottages, the Lake Crest, and we had requested an amendment to the animal bylaw. So here is a draft amendment. So, Councillor Selk?
I'll move the draft amendment to bylaw 1679B. First reading.
Okay. Question? All in favor? Thank you. So we could do second reading and we can leave the rest.
I move second reading of animal bylaw amendment, bylaw 1679B.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. I will leave the rest for in 2 weeks' time. If people have desire to come and talk about it, it gives them some time.
Yep.
All right, under 7, other business. So this is a little bit of a need for discussion as to how we're going to handle that. Are we going to make a straight donation? Or are we simply going to say we are giving you the cost of having the golf course for that day, which would be a little bit what we did with the ice rink when they had that thing, but it's a little bit different because the ice rink, there was no chance for further revenue, so that was the last day. In this case, is a loss of revenue, but for a cause, which the other thing was a loss, for a cause too. Councillor Selk?
I think given the time frame where they're doing this in September,
Right.
I like what the foundation's doing. I like the fact that anything that we can do to make our hospital more attractive, more capable, more available to other
Usable.
to other procedures, we should do it.
Yeah, we support the cause also. What we do not know is that allowing for more operation to be done in our facility. I would hope so, but we're not certain, right? Because the government, Alberta Health, controls how many procedures are done.
I'm prepared to make a motion at this time, Mayor.
Okay, what would be the motion, or do we want discussion first?
I want to ask some questions first.
Okay, do you want to ask a question? Go ahead.
They're talking 50 or 60 people, participants. So what
Possibly.
would that normally be?
Okay,
How much would that normally take in for income?
Yeah, so
$55 per person.
$5 a person for cart and golf on the weekend, and this is a Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
So.
So it's about
So that's almost $2,600.
$3,300.
$3,300.
But remember, this is September.
Yep, slower.
We're a
I
little
mean, it's a
bit,
fairly significant donation.
It's a large donation.
Well, it is a donation in effect, really, because you're not getting, you're not taking any money, so you're donating those proceeds to them. They're going to charge the golfers, and they're going to get the money,
You're giving the
right?
course for no cost and
But
not
it's-
able to take on other
But it-
golfers, right?
but Councillor, if you needed screws in your ankle,
That's right.
No, I'm not going there at all.
No,
I'm
no,
just-
no, no.
I'm not going there at
It's
all.
just looking at the
I'm
business
just
model
looking
here.
at it, yeah, exactly. I'm just looking at, not only do we have the donation for the facility, but we've got the staff that are working that day. We're donating that because we're going to pay them for that day as well. So it's a very significant donation, and I think if we do this, which quite frankly I'm in favor of, then that needs to be acknowledged, that cost. I mean, they put plaques on the wall. The town needs to be acknowledged for that donation.
Councillor Selk first, Councillor Brown.
I think the one thing that we're not looking at is that the tournament could possibly be over by 3 or 4 at the outside. There's still room for golfers, so you're not going to lose the entire day's revenue.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
hope that that's a scenario, right?
Do they just shut it right down for those,
Yeah, they
any
do.
private golfers?
That do.
Depends how many
Okay.
golfers they
Depends
get.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they have over 40 or so, you're going to use both sides, which
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're
They'll
hoping for
start
about
on
100
both
people.
sides, yeah.
You know, I think that's the plan.
Councillor Brown?
But that's why I said when Greg Burt was here, I said, by donating this, we should be your largest sponsor.
Oh, absolutely.
Our name should be out there because it is a very large donation when it's all added up.
bigger
I
than
completely
anybody
support
else's.
it,
Okay.
but I feel like our name is front and center, dang straight.
It should be, I totally hear what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I'll throw out a couple of careful thoughts on this. I support the Health Foundation. I was the chair for a few years. It's a thing I do support. I put on a couple of these tournaments back in the day. There's a couple of cautions I see that many of our tournaments have a benevolent cause behind them. So the Rotarians do a tournament. Sometimes we have some folks from the Blood Reserve that do a tournament supporting one of those things. And
Yeah.
having a tournament for a benevolent cause is pretty common. And the question is, do we want to be looking at donating those fees? I don't think we want to open the floodgates for that because tournaments are also a major source of the revenue for the course.
And that is the issue we need to consider, right? So is that a straight donation or is that a loss of revenue? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So then, sorry. Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say the other thing is with this request, it's a little open-ended because if they have 40 golfers, it's a far sight different than if they have 100.
Yeah.
You just more than doubled your donation, frankly. And so there's a part of me that says if we actually make a donation and not waive the fee, we have our number is known, it's definitive. There's a cap on it. And we're not comping tournaments. If that's setting, so what stops the Rotarians from walking in here right after and saying,
Isn't better to do
"You
it.
did it for the Health Foundation,
Yeah.
and why not us?" And we do donate to some of those. It's just something I'm considering.
Yeah.
What are those ramifications down the line?
I see that.
Councillor Brown, Councillor Selk.
But I think that is our job. I mean, as any business owner in Cardston would tell you, they look at, when I do Cardston soccer sponsoring, somebody else say, yes, this year we're sponsoring soccer. Next year we're going to do baseball. We have that. This year we're going to do these guys. Don't accept that it's going to be every year. I mean, I don't feel that way. I feel like this year, if we so approve it, this year we'll do it. But that way it gets us out of the thought of, well, free for
Okay.
everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to stay
Okay.
away from.
Sure.
All right, but that begs another question. Is our donation policy reflective of that concept? Okay. Councillor
Well,
Selk.
I think along the same lines as Councillor Brown, then it's one comp a year. This year, it's the Cardston District Health
see.
Foundation. Next year, it's somebody else, but
My point.
it's whatever. If we need to create a policy into that effect or include it into our donation policy or whatever. But
Okay, I'll
this
do-
year, it's one comp. Next year, it's a
Right.
different person. who gets
Okay,
the comp.
so could it be that the use of the facility, ice rink, or golf course, or swimming pool, or whatever, would be donated towards one cause, and annually the town will support one worthy cause of their choice?
Yep.
Agreed.
But does that
I caution
work?
you about putting that in policy because
Is-
you're
is
taking
it different-
discretion away for other priorities.
That-
right?
that's
that's
right.
exactly
Is
right.
it,
Have in the back of your head that this year is what we're
Leave it
doing.
the way it is.
That's fine too. By the way, I'm just quickly, it seems to meet policy. I don't see an issue with your donation policy. You can,
Okay.
it seems to meet all the eligibility pieces, by the way.
no, that we know.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering how, you're talking about the floodgate. How do we close that gap?
Then make the motion that it's on a one-time basis this year, and it's not open-ended.
The other thing I wonder too is, do you want to, I don't want to say
Make it a
cap it, but
donation.
I kind of mean that to say that the
Yeah.
town will comp the first 50 participants, as an example.
Yeah.
It puts some parameters, or not, I don't care. I'm
Or
just
the first
saying,
40.
do we
Well, the
somehow
first
keep
50.
it contained to some degree?
They normally have about 50 participants for sure.
I'll bet they push that a lot more this year.
Well, there's a lot of attractive
Facility.
Yeah.
points to this tournament
Yeah.
this year.
It's quick, which is good.
Okay, so,
3.
so
I like that idea, the
is it the
Cap
capping?
capping. Yeah, I like that idea.
So do you cap it at 40, 50, 60?
No,
I don't like that.
You comp the whole thing for
Agreed.
1 year,
Done.
and then we're done with this.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and
how can you say this year, all right, we'll do it for the health
Let's just
board,
do
and then next year the Rotarians come and they want to do it and say, well, you did it last year for them, and you say, well, I'm sorry, we're only doing it once.
No, that's
Is
not
that
what
what
I'm
you were saying? That's what I was hearing.
That's not what we're
Okay,
saying.
okay,
Saying
let's
we're comping
explain
this
this.
tournament this year for this organization, and next year we'll take a look at it for anybody else that comes forward. It's on a case-by-case basis, year by year, and then we'll go from there, and that way it's not open-ended to every tournament.
That's right.
It's one,
That's right. We're
All
not-
right.
simply one per year.
So here is the potential ramification. As Greg said, I don't know how many people I might have, but if they have 100, then your donation equals $5,500 for that day. And that is actually the loss. No, I wouldn't call it a loss of revenue, but that's revenue not generated by the golf course. So do we call it a town donation and leave it at that? Or do we have the golf course deal with that?
well, we own the golf course.
Yeah, but they're an entity on their own, right?
So, just humor me here a little bit. If we just make a cash donation and don't waive the fees, then it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We're still giving them money, right? But then we have a donation policy with so much dollars and cents in that donation policy that
Okay,
we've got to deal
so-
with too.
So that is the other aspect
know?
that I wanted Jeff to help me with. We have made large donation outside of the parameter of that kind of dollar. So where does the money come from? If we call it a donation for benevolent fundraising.
If you were entertaining writing them a check for that, say, $5,000, I would have to amend it for mill rate bylaw in 2 weeks. Frankly, that's where we need to just come up with it.
So the money is not there. Yes.
Okay, I think we're complicating this way too much. Give them the donation of the golf course for one tournament and be done with this, and
So
whatever they make,
is-
they make.
Okay, so it's through, so you're doing it through the golf course itself? Okay, so that's
Really
the
not
answer.
taking money out of our coffers,
Well,
right?
yes and no.
Other than we're not getting that money.
It's not the point. The point is we have to decide out of which pocket it's coming. Is that the golf course, is that the town?
Well, let's make it the golf course, and
Okay.
in this case, it is a par 3, so hopefully if there's even 100 participants, they're done, and then, yeah, it's quick, and then they're
And then the
done,
rest
and
of
then
the
they're regular
okay.
paying.
All right, so do you want to go ahead?
I will make a motion that we.
It's okay, we need to discuss those things.
Yep. I don't know how you want this to read, but
As
anyway,
a one-time donation.
So we're going to waive the fees,
Green fees and golf cart.
green and golf cart fees
Fees.
for the health foundation.
Cardston and District Health Foundation Tournament,
Right.
Fundraiser
yes, fundraiser for 2019
only.
only.
Okay, any other questions? It's a good cause. There is no other way to look at it. The hospital will benefit from it. It's a good cause, but we still need to be careful of what we do. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
My only thought was I just want to make sure that that the golf course now is going to be recognized for that donation and an amount. Regardless of what you think about that, I think that there needs to be an amount attached to that so that the hospital board knows how much we've donated, the golf course is donated. I think that's important.
Oh, that's administration job.
Yeah.
Okay, under 8, a financial report, you could see that we have been given 2 months of financials, and it's starting to look good. And we just have that for your information. We do not need to have a motion on that. So let's go to correspondence. The MD of Willow Creek to Alberta Health, as you can see, that is something that was forwarded to me, and I thought would be interesting for us to know that we were not the only one concerned about that service regarding the ambulances, and theirs was really an interesting statement, I must say.
That's right. You go, folks.
We support you.
They put themselves out there, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And good on them.
So this is why I thought you might be interested in a read. So 10B, Barry Morishita, AUMA is an invitation to attend a meeting. It's
Go take a look at Suncor.
it's regarding the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
I didn't put this in thinking, honestly, we need.
And honestly, personally, I think maybe not.
Did I miss something? This was to go see Suncor's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. All right,
See if they're industrial terrorists or not.
yeah. So beside that, I think we covered it all, folks.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh my, no question about that one?
On that one.